And raise your right hand, please. You solemnly swear the testimony about giving this matter be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
Please be seated. If you state your full name and spell your last name for the record, sir.
My name is Alan Offringa, O-F-F-R-I-N-G-A.
And how are you employed currently, sir?
I work for the Sig Sauer Corporation
How long have you worked for them?
since 2002.
Can you describe to us a bit about your background?
Yes, I've been employed as a police officer starting in 1967 up until 1970, where I went to work for the United States Treasury Department. And from 1970 to 2002, I was employed by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Division of the Treasury Department.
Okay. What is the nature of your work with SIG?
I'm their consultant in ATF matter.
And what does that mean?
I help them stay compliant with the ATF law.
Okay. I want to draw your attention to the time period after August 29th. We alerted to some possible stolen items from SIG at the Somersworth Police Department.
Yes, I was.
And you recall when it was you went down there to take a look at it?
It was in early September.
Okay. And what were you shown when you got there?
I was shown a bunch of a number of items that were marked with SIG logos and that I identified as SIG made products.
And were there any other objects that you looked at that didn't have the SIG logos on them that you had concerns about?
Yes.
And what kind of items was that?
There were two firearm frames, one appearing to be a Model 229 frame and a 1911 firearm frame.
I'm going to show you two objects that have been marked with States Exhibits 1 and 2. Have you take a look at those immediately, please. Are you familiar with those two pieces?
Yes, ma'am.
And when did you first see those pieces?
These pieces?
Those two pieces.
Sometime in the SIG factory, but after that point, at someone's police department.
Okay. How do you know you saw those at the factory?
They're prototype frames, and SIG was contemplating it, putting these frames into production, and I was asked my opinion about them on more than one occasion.
Okay. When you say they were prototype frames, what do you mean by that?
I don't think the company is actively trying to improve their products, and they have a prototype shop where they experiment with new products and build new products from the ground up to see if they're viable for the market.
Okay. Now those two frames, just to the average person, just look like a couple of frames. How do you know they came from SIG?
Especially the 229.
Which one would be the 229?
The aluminum frame versus that mark.
That's the
No,
the other side.
Two.
States Exhibit 2. Okay. Tell me about that.
There's several processes that SIG uses in the manufacturing of these frames that are evident on this frame that are not necessarily unique, but are pretty exclusive to SIG in this area. And the one thing that I noticed right away is the magazine well.
Now where's the magazine well?
This part here.
So that's in the handle.
That's right.
And that's where the magazine with the bullets goes, correct?
The magazine goes in that area.
Okay.
And the magazine holds the cartridge. It shows marks from being made through a wire EDM.
Could you explain what you mean by that?
Wire EDM is electrical discharge machining. It was a process that SIG used up until about mid-2004. And it's used to remove the metal from the material of this item. SIG gets these, they're made from and have an extrusion.
Do you have a sample with you?
Yes.
So the extrusion, that's the piece that comes into the factory to be made into the spring, is that what you're saying?
Comes with a block of aluminum like this. And as you can see, it's solid. And all the machine cuts that have to come out of this piece of aluminum are done in a variety of ways. And to get inside this extrusion, remove all the exterior metal. I also have these pieces of metal.
Can you show us that?
This is wrapped around because it's extremely sharp on the edges. A hole is drilled, and in the hole, the wire is threaded, and an electrical current is passed through the wire, and the machine is programmed so that the wire follows the pattern, cuts out all the material. So if you were to stick this little button here would be for the magazine button. Slide it up in there. You can see this cut out.
Is it possible just for us, like, I haven't seen these before, if I just take a closer look at that?
Very careful with this.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry, would you be able just to repeat what you just said?
Sure. This hole is drilled through the extrusion, and then a wire is threaded down through the hole. It's connected, it's in a liquid when they do this. And then the electrical charge is passed through the wire, and the wire follows the pattern inside and cuts out the magazine wall. Okay.
Thank you.
If you need
Can I take a closer look at this? I just want to verify something. Okay.
I mean, he's got an attorney who can take a closer look.
Well, you can see the wire mark right there.
See, this is not...
Could you explain what the wire mark is on the inside?
Yes, the wire obviously comes in contact with the frame, burns it, and that wire mark will pretty well maintain visibility in there until it goes through various polishing procedures and final finishing. And at that point, the mark may be covered.